Hi guys, today we're going to do something a little bit more interesting. We're going to do a running dictation of Hamlet, okay? So, pens at the ready. I want you to write this down. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, to be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing them, end them. Are you getting this down?
Yes.
To die, to sleep, no more, and by sleep to say we end.
So, in the example we've just seen, the teacher clearly wasn't focused on what his students could do or what they needed. But which is the best method that he could have used? Communicative language teaching? Grammar translation? Task-based learning? Prabhu discusses the fact that there is no best method for teaching. Now, he doesn't mean that we can throw all of the methodology out of the window, no. What he means is we select the best method and approaches for the students we're teaching in the context that we are in. That might sound obvious, but all too many of us take our beliefs, our teaching knowledge, and mechanical routines with us into the classroom. There are many reasons why a particular lesson plan, material, approach, method will work really well in one context, but not another context. To help teachers to really get their mind around post-methodological thinking, Kumaravadivelu, this guy, put together 3 guiding principles for us to follow. The first is particularity. That means we have unique students in unique contexts studying unique learning goals in every place that we teach. The second is practicality, and this looks at the tension between professional theory against practical theory. Yes, CLT might be wonderful, but does it work in my classroom with my students? The last point is possibility, and this is all about exploring and being brave and trying new methods which might help your students reach their learning goals. The things they all have in common is that they're very student-centered. What do my learners need in my context?
Hello, my name is Afifa and I teach adult learners in Intensive English Program in Islamic University in Indonesia.
Hello, I'm Ali Garib. I teach adults at a university in Libya.
Well, I do allow my students to use first language, which is Bahasa Indonesia, when they are in a group or they are doing work in pairs.
In my teaching context, what works best with my students is the communicative language approach. Because when I teach my students in groups, and I find them more encouraged and motivated to participate. But when I teach them using traditional methods, they feel discouraged because they feel bored.
I can't force my students to speak all the time using English, because when I force them to use English, they just keep quiet, they just whisper to their peers and do nothing.
There are some limitations to the communicative language approach in my context. I need to consider the culture in my context. I need to make gender-based groups in order to avoid any disruption in the learning process, which is different from what other teachers can do in other contexts in other countries.
So, there we have it. 2 teachers coming to very different conclusions about what the best methodology is for their own students, but both very focused on what their own students need and what will help them reach their learning goals. That's what we need to take into account in our own context, on our own teaching, and how we should approach post-methodological teaching.